Culture is the environment you're working and the people coming together to give a good feeling for people who come to see us. Back in '99, when I first joined, it was really hard to work here. There was a chaos with the front waiting room, patients lining up to be seen.
It was very volatile in here. I mean, it was very dramatic at times. We had a lot of codes and myocardial infarction type patients, strokes, gunshot wounds on occasion.
It was good for the patients in that it kept them out of the ER, but it wasn't good for the patients that were here with a sore throat.
We were working like an emergency room, but we didn't have the staff to handle that. All right, we didn't have the equipment to handle that type of stuff. So it slowed everything down.
I was here when we've had 5-hour waits, and we decided that that made miserable patients.
We would be here laboring until midnight.
We knew it needed to be improved, we just didn't know how to do it.
I mean, Charlie drove this vision, and it started with the Dream Retreat.
When people go to Disney, they want to go back. The people are so kind and wonderful, and that's kind of what we wanted to model.
We were a little resistant at first because no one likes to change.
We actually, as a group, gathered out of the work environment as a team to really look at improving and kicking this off of what our goals were and what we wanted to do.
The biggest knock on us from our department was our workflow and our waiting times. And that's where we started. It was with the waiting times. How do we knock down our waiting times?
He brought in members from the business. He brought in patients to tell us what they liked about what we were doing and what they didn't like so much. From the Dream Retreat, then we put together like a patient satisfaction team.
Our concept here is what's called a hedgehog concept, and what we want to deliver is world-class medicine very quickly and efficiently, and that can only be done with a staff and a group of physicians that are all wanting to work together.
Patients want quality care. Patients want fast care. They want to be able to ask questions, and they want to feel like they're part of this family.
And we have patient satisfaction surveys, and we take a good look at those surveys. We had to look from the time the patient walked into the front door to the waiting room, where they checked in, how the receptions were dealing with those patients as they checked in, how they placed them in the right category.
The 360 review was very eye-opening, for all of us.
Each staff member was asked to give positive feedback to the doctors. What did they do well, and what didn't they do so well?
When we opened the door to staff and let them, express themselves, it was like, whoa.
The doctors are very open about it after they get their feedback, saying, this is what I found in my feedback, these are things I want to change, can you please help me?
The things that they see, they notice, and when you read them, you realize, hey, yeah, these things are true.
We don't put ourselves up here to the staff. We relate very well to the staff. They feel very comfortable with us.
It created unity and camaraderie among us with the nurses and the rest of the staff.
The huddles we do in the morning, well, mostly. It depends on when we can get a whole group together. Any new topics that came up the last night, any concerns that need to be addressed, we kind of are all made aware of it.
And it's now changed into our management culture. Our management will come up to us and say, okay, let's do a daily huddle. What are we looking at? What problems do we have? What do we want to work on today? It's just keeps things alive, and it keeps the change there.
It's important really to empower your staff and give them the autonomy, maybe have protocols to anticipate the patient's needs.
We've all got them to agree, okay, if we want to run this very efficiently, you guys need to do everything the same. We don't care what your choice is, just let us know that's the way we're going to go with it.
Once we got doing our workshops and throwing out ideas and stuff, I think people were like, wow, we can really pull this off. We can do this. We can step out of the box, still do good medicine and still make it what medicine is about, but really look at patients like customers. What do they want? How would we want to be treated?
An average day at the West Aurora Walk-In Care is around 120 patients in like a 13.5-hour day. We have, in the winter, can see anywhere up to 200 patients a day.
Or between the 3 sites, we saw 10,000 patients in 1 month, and so that's 4 physicians on any given day and 10,000 patients.
This area has grown, so that has improved our numbers, but what's also grown is our competition. So in order to maintain and to keep our patients, we had to provide an excellent patient experience.
We each have our own role. The physician has their role, the nurse has their role, the CMAs, etc. But we kind of share those roles.
And honestly, like, it's not a lot of places where you can say, like, I love my coworkers, but I really do love my coworkers, because like if I go into a room and I get pulled away with something else, she already knows what I'm about to do, and so she goes in there, or another staff will go in there and finish what I was doing.
The patient comes in and says, I think I have a urinary tract infection. Well, why am I waiting for that doctor to prove that this is what's happening? Now I, as a nurse, can say, okay, these are your symptoms. Let's move it on. We're going to get a urine for you, and then when we get the results, the doctor's going to come in and see you.
The foundation of our culture is really the mutual respect that the staff and the physicians have. We feel that we can come to each other with almost anything and give almost any kind of feedback in a face-to-face way. I just saw like 40-something people in like a 5-hour time span, and there was hardly any waiting time.
I mean, there's times, multiple times a day, I get, wow, I didn't even get to sit down yet. And so we try and let them know, hey, we're exceeding your expectations because we're organized in the back. We've got things going. The biggest thing is we do a lot of what's called sweeps now. The doctors will come in and cover each other if we get a long wait.
20, 30 patients come in an hour. That's impossible for any 2 doctors to see. So the doctors got together and decided we needed to fix that problem. And they all agreed that on their day off that they would be available if we called in what we call a sweep. And it's just kind of like an extra doctor comes in, sweeps all the issues away. And they don't have to be here for 2 or 3 hours. They can come in for 45 minutes.
We sometimes will disrupt our own flow when we think it's going to give us an advantage. And again, I have to give most of the credit to Charlie, because he's kind of like our oracle. He says, look guys, this is what's coming down the pike, and if we do this, we're going to be ahead of the game. We started posting our wait times online, and then we developed an app so that you can go onto your smartphone and find out how long the wait is.
Patients need to be welcome, treated, and felt like we took care of them. That's what we're here for.
We're like a family here. The flow is incredible. We almost don't even need to talk. We just look at the chart and we know exactly what to do.
I think our system is working well, and that's why people keep coming.
I think it boils down to ownership, that we feel as if we own this place. What happens with patients on a daily basis is reflected in our behavior.
If you'd asked me 10 years ago, could this happen? Could I be happier? Could I really feel like I'm part of a team? Could I really feel positive about being in medicine? I would have said no, and yet it happened.
It's worth stepping out of the box. It's worth it. It is worth revisiting how you are doing things, and if something doesn't feel right, or you're not getting that A+ score and you're not getting that positive feedback, then you need to make some changes.
This is where I want to work. I've been here for 12 years. I don't plan on leaving. We call ourselves lifers, a couple of us.
I love coming to work. I couldn't say that a long time ago, but I do now.